It's a good question to warm up, but I think for us, most of us, most probably the answer is online is going to be the future. However, I think we're still in an industry that is deeply connected with its roots. Used to be a people's business forever, and I think this will still stay a driver in business decisions. So I think online will never be able to totally replace what happens offline and what can happen over a glass of beer in a bar. But still, I think in terms of business processes, in terms of what we can do to enhance the industry we are in, that's going to be the future online for sure.
Essentially, those who do not embrace being online to a very large degree, I don't think that they will have a business 3 to 5 years from now.
Flemming, what do you think?
I think it is. If you look at it, an average shipper needs 5 to 8 carriers to get the frequency, the transit times, or whatever combinations they need to reach their destinations. And going and booking in that many different places obviously means that you end up spending most of your time in spreadsheets, taking down information to have an overview of where you have your shipments. And I think marketplaces that does this across both forwarders and carriers provides a higher level of ease. So I think now is a good time to do it. There are a number of them available already. And I think, yeah, I believe in it, obviously, because I'm representing one of them.
With more and more carriers promoting the online sales products?
Yeah, well, you can look at the annual accounts, or not annual accounts, the quarterly accounts that has been disclosed by Maersk and Hapag-Lloyd. Maersk right now are around 25% of their bookings coming in via Maersk Spot, and Hapag-Lloyd have hit 15% of their bookings coming in, a target they had set for 2023, but they have hit it now. So clearly it's taking off and it's helping. If you look behind the scene, I think that for Hapag, maybe a large part of the bookings are actually made not by BCO shippers, but by forwarders. But that's because the rate sheet that has traditionally been given to the forwarders have disappeared, and now the only way they can actually book is through the carriers' online tools. On top of that, the carriers, they have most of the details of most of the customers that have ever moved boxes on them. So from a marketing perspective, and they have everything they need to be able to go out and canvas the market. And you see Maersk going the integrated way, where they will offer door-to-door with all the services in between. And they know who needs it based on the data they have. So I think we will see much more online sales by the carriers going forward.
There, the big question is then in the next step, when you are digital, how do you differentiate on your own portal, right? So on your own way of working digital. That is then a little bit the next step, and there are a lot of answers to it actually. First of all, I mean, when you compare the providers of digital solutions, they are not all equally good, right? So you need somebody who is really good in the product that you also want to deliver, right? So if you are, for example, in LCL, you want to go to a digital provider that is able to also run the LCL product efficiently, right? I mean, all of you are experts of the industry. You know, there are certain requirements when you run an LCL product, so you want your tool to represent that as well. I think these are things that are very important, but then it comes also to the question, and that is not always for the customer to answer, but is actually the one that is affecting him. It comes to the question, what does the customer need, right? So, and what will fascinate the customer? And that is the big question that we jointly, right? So, logistic participants, the developers of the tools, we need to, together with the customer, answer that and come up with great solutions which the customer then loves, right?
It probably depends, you know, on the customer type with which you are working and the customer type to which you are displaying, you know, the things. So when we are speaking about the end consumer who likes, well, yeah, who likes all the beautiful things, you know, different colors, the maps, everything is moving, gamification, like, well, somebody is running on the map or something is moving on the map. So it's really cool, you know, for the final consumer. When we are speaking about, well, freight forwarders, and let's say if the carriers are selling the services to the freight forwarders, well, of course, well, freight forwarders probably, you know, they will not look too much, you know, on the map. It's more than enough, you know, for them to get quality data from the carriers about the status events of the containers or about the vessel or truck or the plane or whatsoever. And
how can the freight digitalization enhance efficiency?
As I started out in the first answer saying that there is a lot of waste in the industry, and that needs to be addressed, and a large part of that is to digitize data and digitalize processes, and from that you'll get a much more efficient way of working together. A container from origin to destination's final place passes through approximately on average 20 different companies. The data often are transferred, sometimes in handwriting or retyped on typewriters. There's so many areas where it can go wrong. And to get a smooth supply chain, we need to digitize and we need to digitalize and then work across the different players on the supply chain.